This top is not quite flattering on me round here.
It's not what?
Flattering.
Do you know why?
Because I'm fat. Been away with Wilbur for a week, so I've just matched him eating.
How has your holiday been, all right?
Wouldn't call it a holiday. I feel like I was working because I was caring for him, wasn't I? But it was quite good because we've got a blue badge, so we have priority parking in the car park. And
that top it's striped that way.
Right.
So if you're going to get stripe that's more flattering, you go stripes down, stripes across, stripes down.
I was going to go to Alton Towers this year as a holiday as well, but after being in the car with Wilbur for 2.5 hours, I don't need to.
Did you let him drive?
Yeah, it's horrendous, honestly.
What did I say to you? What did I say?
My car's not very good, so it was a case of, my juice is not very good either, to be honest.
I said to you, you make sure you drive. But you didn't. Once again, you don't listen.
Good morning everybody and welcome to another Sunday morning show. You'll notice I've kept Dan this week. I've got rid of Jordan instead of getting rid of Dan. It was a close call.
You got rid of him in a serious way. Poor lad, he thought he was back on set.
He did, yeah. He did well actually last week. I was quite impressed. Yeah, he deputised well, but you know.
He's done well there. There's some positive comments.
Yeah, it was good. Jordan has been a breath of fresh air around the place.
I completely agree with that. Completely agree. Well said, Bernie.
Thank you.
Well said, and welcome back.
Thank you very much. Nice to be back.
On a holiday note,
yeah.
How was it?
It was good. Yeah, I mean,
it's not really a holiday, is it? But it's more of just a break.
It was a break.
It's a break to get away from me, even though we spoke on the phone, and the club. The general pro shop life.
It was more a case. I wanted to go and maybe from a slightly selfish point of view. Wanted to go and see and watch a bit of the Euro Pro Tour, and at the same time try and help Will with his game and sort of be supportive and do a bit of caddying for him. So it was a bit of everything really.
And do you feel like you did that?
Yeah. For anyone that doesn't know, Will unfortunately missed the cut by a couple of shots, but there was lots and lots of positives by the way he played, the way he conducted himself. And he was very close to making it, and he was on that cut line for anyone that was watching right the way through. The first day he played brilliantly, hit it lovely. A couple of mistakes at the end. I mean, he got to 3 under the first day, had a good opportunity to get to 4 under, but unfortunately had a couple of bogeys to finish and finished 2.
Right.
But should have been 4 or 5 under.
Yeah.
The way he played, that would have given him a nice buffer. Second round we played the front 9 first, because we played back 9 first in the first round.
Okay.
They reversed it. He played beautifully front 9, shot 1 under, and he lost the ball in that as well. He hit 1 bad shot, cost him a double, but he was 1 under going out, which was the harder 9, so we were at 3 under par, right on the cut line. The 10th hole at Cumberwell is a little par 4, which you hit sort of 6, 7 iron, depending on the wind, and then a little chip onto the green.
And then you've got the dog leg around the corner, haven't you?
Correct, yeah. So it just started raining, and he hit it a little bit left, probably half an hour earlier, it kicked back to the fairway, there a little chip onto the green. It stayed on the bank of the rough, and then he played probably his worst shot of the week. Just hit a little fatty pitch shot, which went left, stayed left. Pin was right on the back of the green, and he didn't get up and down, so he dropped a shot. Birdied the next par 5, which was a drive and a little flick.
Yeah, around the corner.
And then he hit on the next par 5, which you should be making birdie. He hit it so far right, got up there, was in the trees, chipped out, made a good up and down 5, but it sort of really took the wind out of his sails. One of the lads we played with was 4 under for those 3 holes.
Oh wow!
So I mean, if probably 2 under was par.
For his distance, you know, he needs to be dominating the par 5s, doesn't he?
Yeah, I mean, and then towards the end of the round, there was just let a couple slip. But he's as good as these guys that are making the cut and the guys competing. But people need to realise Will's got no experience of that level of golf. People are thinking that he's going to rock up and win on this tour, and it just doesn't happen. Will's gone from playing club golf. He didn't really play much county stuff.
No.
He was a late starter.
He turned pro, didn't he? He turned pro just as they were probably going to put him into the first team.
Yeah.
he actually turned pro.
So he's got none of that experience, and he's learning on the job, so to speak, playing 3-day tournaments, which he's never played before.
Yeah, 1-day events.
And these guys, you're playing against guys that were in the England squad. You've got Welsh internationals. You've got tour people that have played on Challenge Tour. You've got people who played European Tour. Yeah. You've got winners on these tour playing. And the standard is, you know, the cut line being 3 under and 5 under and 1 under is ridiculous.
So from a CV point of view for you then, is now Tour Caddie going on the CV?
I think until I help him make a cut, that no. Once he's made his first cut, and if I'm there, then I will take a little bit of credit for it. But no, he did well. He knows what he's got to do. We talked. We had a good chat on the way home about things he needs to improve. Hopefully, some of it went in. Yeah.
Well, I think you're right. I think the main thing about that, and I spoke to Paul briefly about this, is like some guys get on these tours and they just instantly find their feet and they kick on and they do extremely well, and but that's very rare that you find those guys that do that. Majority of the guys need to bed in. They need time to understand 100%. What playing 3 rounds of golf is like, piecing together. You're piecing together score on top of scores, aren't you? That's what you're trying to do, and that takes time. I've got to say, I am not very good at it. Like, I used to do quite well in 36-hole events that are played on one day, because I used to play better in the afternoon than I did in the morning. I don't know why, but I used to always be quite good at that. But then you put me, when I used to play college golf, where it was like 3 or 4 days in a row, trying to piece together 4 rounds or 3 rounds of golf in a row is really hard.
But you've got that experience of doing it. So if you were to suddenly, after that, and then play a 3-day event, you've got that experience, you've got that know-how, etc. Whereas Will was playing individual 1-day events. Yeah.
And you talk about county golf. I mean, county golf for us it was match play.
Yeah, 100%.
Which is so different to stroke play.
Mainly on links golf courses.
Mainly on links golf courses.
Which are not none of these are links golf courses.
But also, they're not. You might go away and play in a 1-day event, which is 36 holes in a day. You're not going to go and play 4 rounds of golf like you would do. No. Maybe international golf. You're going to do a bit of that. But to get into those international events, it's really, really difficult. Probably the closest to it is, I would say, is college golf in America. Yeah, that's as close as you're going to get, I think, to understanding what tour life is actually like. And that's when you go and play stroke play, 3 or 4 days, bang. That's what you've got to gain the experience from those sorts of things. It was
really good as well. I met a couple of really nice lads who got on really well with. We stayed with a couple of lads as well, and it was good. I did really enjoy the experience, and it's given me a bit of motivation to start practicing and playing again.
As we've seen this week. I mean, how many hours have you spent hitting balls this week?
I've done like 16 hours so far this week, which is good. So hopefully, we're 5 or 6 weeks loaded, aren't we, with vlogs and stuff. So you won't see it. Hopefully, you will see improvements in maybe 6-7 weeks. Time, yeah, hopefully. Yeah. But yeah, no, it was really good. I really enjoyed the experience. I fancy having a little go at the Monday qualifying as well, because it's not expensive.
I love the fact that they do Monday qualifying. What great opportunities for players that don't have a great deal of time to play, but can have an opportunity to have a little go if it's close to their golf course, or their home.
So I think I'm going to do a couple of them, because I do generally get the odd Monday off, and I can get the Monday off with you, see how I get on really. But it's just good it'd be nice to just say that you've had a little go at doing something like that. Absolutely. But yeah, I think Will knows what he needs to do. I saw how dedicated a lot of people on that tour are. Yeah. He's got the talent. It's their livelihood. It's their livelihood. You know, the lad that we stayed with, Harry. He's been on other people's channels, etc. When he was playing first thing in the morning on the second day. So on the first day, he was there. He was the first one at the driving range, like 2 out. He got up at R5 to go and hit balls for like a couple of hours before he teed off. Yeah. After we finished on the first day, we finished early, rather than sort of sitting around chatting for a few hours or going back to. He went on the Cumberwell's got an amazing short game area.
Yeah, fantastic.
And he spent a couple of hours there chipping around the green and practicing and stuff like that. And he made the cut. So I mean, it's
that's what you got to do.
You've got to be so dedicated.
The other thing, and this is something that Will can do, is and when he gets to understand these places, a lot of these places that have tour events, they've got great practice facilities. Yeah. Because there's a lot of blaming that when you go to golf court, like clubs like here, where you don't have facilities for Will to practice a great deal. there's great facilities now, so he doesn't really have a massive excuse. But you go to these Cumberwell Parks and places like that, the practice facilities are second to none.
Yeah. And
getting up there a little bit earlier, making the use of your downtime, and really hitting balls and grinding it out, and actually just watching other guys to watch what they do as well in their practice sessions is always really, really good.
I think it's getting that idea that you're taking it from a hobby or something that's, you know, is a bit of fun into, like, this is my job. Yeah. You know, you've got to put the dedication, you've got to put the time, you've got to put the work ethic into everything. You've got to treat it as a job. You're not going there for, you know, you're not going there for a jolly. I'm not saying Will was going there for a jolly. He didn't drink anything. He, you know,
no.
Nothing like that. He's treating it.
Like
but you've really got to. Some of these guys are so dedicated to what they're doing. You know, even for case of eating the right things, eating the time.
Fit lads.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of them. I'm not joking. The majority of them, you know, they're 6'2", 6'3" plus. They're built. Yeah. They're young, fit lads who. There's some great golfers on it.
Not dissimilar to a couple of old boys plodding our way around Moortown this week.
They play a different game to us. No, but you played lovely around there. If you could play like that,
so I having put those together, those videos together, like you take All Woodley a couple of weeks ago before, I hit the ball tee to green at All Woodley as good as I hit it at Moortown. Yeah. On the greens though, a completely different story. Yeah. Completely different story. I got into my head at All Woodley, whereas Moortown, I don't know what it was.
You played lovely. I mean, back tees there.
A couple of putts in early, and
7,000 yards,
going,
wasn't it?
You know,
you played lovely. That's as good as I've seen you play. I think you had great control of the ball.
I did have good face control that day. Yeah.
Yeah. You were knocking pins out, but your short game was tidy as well. Yeah. Yeah. You played solidly that day.
Such a great golf course.
But yeah, I mean, I didn't play anywhere near as well as you did, but
actually,
I still enjoyed it.
If you look at it, you didn't actually play that bad.
I didn't play. No,
you didn't play bad at all.
Didn't take advantage on the greens.
Correct.
But I mean, the golf course. What did you think of it?
Loved it.
Yeah.
It's my favourite. It's my favourite Heathland course that that I've played.
100% for me.
You know, it's on par. Like I couldn't. No. People have commented in it saying, oh, and I mentioned it about Sunningdale, making it maybe sounding it's better than Sunningdale, or you know, but they're all on a par with each other. Those top Heathland courses like that. But I gotta say, like, and it also, if you play well, like I've played well at Sunningdale in the past, but I just, for some reason, I think that that golf course really just. I don't know if it's because of a bit of the history with it as well. Yeah. I just enjoy that. I don't know whether.
I mean, I've not played many inland golf courses with that description or of that quality. I've not played Sunningdale anywhere like that, but for me it was pretty special. But the whole atmosphere there I liked. I liked the people. It was friendly.
We were so welcome.
It was welcoming. It was you know, it could have been for the history and the prestige of the place and the tournaments they've hosted. It could have been a little bit snotty and a little bit
complete opposite.
I expected it to be like Churston was in the early 90s, late 80s when we joined, when they didn't like juniors and stuff like that. Weren't allowed in the clubhouse. So I expected it to be like that, and I was completely shocked at how it was. And it was, you know, if you get the opportunity, I know it's over £100 to play there, but for me it was, you know, it was a special treat. It's so worth going to play it.
And I think actually probably what you'll find is golf courses like that have evolved over time. You know,
they've had to.
You know, taking about 20 years. When I spoke to the secretary and did some interviewing with him and had a little chat with him, he was so good. He was so good. He was so obviously he was a younger person than I was expecting to probably meet there. Yeah. And you could see he was so committed to the future of the club and where it was going to go from there. And absolutely.
It's about protecting the history, isn't it, and stuff like that. And
And a big thank you again to FootJoy for allowing us to get up there and play that beautiful golf course, because again, having the opportunity with those guys, they open a few doors for us to be able to get into those venues, to be able to film with it, as you quite rightly said on about the second hole. Like first hole, how are we even here? You know.
So what have you been up to this week?
Well, this week I've actually done a little bit of filming with Wilbur. Right. Okay. We had Cobra come down. Yeah. And we did a little bit of work on his driver. Yeah. And we also did a bit of a review on the putters, the new putters that have been released by Cobra.
Brilliant.
So that was...
they look impressive, don't they?
They look really, really nice, yeah. They look really, really nice. I mean, we'll talk about it obviously in the actual video itself, but, you know, Cobra have never done... Well, when I say never done, they did.
They did. They had a Bobby Grace one.
Yes,
I had one.
You had it.
It was a very small blade.
They also had a rounded version.
And it was copper. I had a copper one.
You're right.
With a little insert. Right. It said Cobra on the back. It was Bobby Grace, I think. Who designed it.
It's really soft.
I loved it.
Insert.
Yeah. It was a proper. It was a unique putter, but they didn't really branch out much, did they? They've had the odd sort of reincarnation.
Yeah.
And sort of mainly in the start sets they did, and all the demo sets, but this is a big push on putters, isn't it? Trying to get into that market.
And I take my hat off to them really, because it can't be easy.
No.
You trying to get into a market of putters, and I know that they are a well-established brand within the golf club wise, and they should probably have a putter, but it is a tough market. You know, you've got Scotty Camerons, you've got TaylorMade, and you've got Odyssey, which just dominate any of that. You've got, I mean, Rife tried to get going, didn't they? Yeah. Maybe they were standalone, so that was a little bit difficult. Yes putters, which, where are they anymore?
They've gone now.
You got Even Roll, which are a great putting company, but again, you don't see a massive amount of them.
No.
They're just a little bit price-wise. They're probably similar to what Odyssey are, I would say. Yeah. But where Cobra just, and you know, I'm always impressed with what they do. They're never afraid of coming out with something different. Yeah. And obviously, in this range, I wouldn't say they've come out with different styles, because there's a lot of similarities in certainly what Odyssey have done or what TaylorMade have done in what they've released. But they've gone with this 3D printing. They're trying to move weight around. They're trying to make it easier. There's loads of things with it, but I like it. I like the stories with it.
I think it's a good idea, because I mean, if you've got a player who's a Cobra player, wears Puma, etc., you don't really want them then using a Scotty Cameron or an Odyssey putter, do you? It doesn't tie in with the brand.
Keep them in brand. It gives them an opportunity for a player to put 14 clubs in their bag.
Yeah, which is ultimately what you want as a manufacturing company, don't you?
Yes.
You don't want your top players standing up there with a Scotty Cameron, because people will be like, well, he's obviously not getting paid to use it. That must be the best putter.
Yes.
Whereas if he's 14 clubs, he's got
he's committed to the brand. So that was good. And I'm not saying that Will's going to look to put a Cobra putter in the bag. Obviously, they would like for him to have one in the bag. And the main focus with Will was to try and look at the driver and see if we could sort that out. And he's going to meet up with him. Yeah, I mean, you've got the experience with watching him use the older driver. I
think that is important, because that's probably his favourite club in the bag is his M2 TaylorMade driver, which he's had, you know, 5, 6, 7 years. He's got a lot of trust in it. It's been there when he's won events and shot good scores, and for him to, he's not someone that moves their clubs or changes their clubs that often. I mean, the clubs he's had the whole set he'd had 4 or 5 years, didn't he?
Yeah.
So for him to make
2016, so 4 or 5 years.
To make the move over to Cobra and go, you know, change everything, and adjustment's going to take time. And I know he likes the irons and he likes the wedges and stuff like that, but the driver, he was so reluctant to change, and
it's more, I think for him it's more of a mental approach.
Yeah, of course it is.
He's dealing with the fact that he loves this club. He doesn't want to really move away from it. He wants to test, and he is testing. Yeah. But on the same scale, you've still got to just pull the trigger to put it in your bag for a tournament. You know.
Yeah.
So So anyway, that was good. That was good for this week. And those videos will be coming out over the next few weeks, I think.
Yeah.
And then this week coming up, well, I mean, we will have to shoot off in a minute, because we're actually heading up to Parlinkenfig. We're heading up to Parlinkenfig and Ashburnham for our 2-day trip with some of you that are probably watching are going to be joining us today, and we look forward to seeing you. But yeah, so we're heading up for our first 2-day adventure with basically people that have got involved through the channel, and we're looking forward to hosting our 2-day trip away, which will be the first of many to come, I hope. So we've got to shoot off in a bit for that. But next week on the show, we are back at Ashbury. Jordan's been putting that one together.
Par 3 one?
It's Jordan's debut.
Yes. So people have asked for Jordan on the channel. You got a little bit of him this week on Moortown. He was on there a little bit more, wasn't he? Because there was only 3 of us, and we're chatting to him and stuff like that. And obviously last week he was on the show. So if you haven't watched that, watch last week's. But he actually plays golf this week, doesn't he?
And we do try and seek out where we can par 3 courses, and bearing in mind we've not done money, but we do try and look for them. And if we ever go on a trip or anything like that, we focus on trying to find one if we can find one.
Are you going to put the little link for the one in France we played?
Yeah, I will do. Why not? Should we just pop it above
that was
your
quite
head
a good,
there?
funny one, wasn't it?
Quite a nice one, yeah. But this one is fantastic. Ashbury got an 18-hole, the Willows course there, got an 18-hole short course, par 3 course, and
I was surprised how good it was, because the moment you say sort of a par 3 course, you think of pitch and putt, you think of ropey greens, you think of it being a bit untidy, maybe mats even. Yeah. But it was phenomenal, wasn't it?
Big teeing grounds though.
Yeah.
I mean, I know you have to have big teeing grounds, but big teeing grounds, because of the amount of wedge shots that are going to be played off them, they just did it really well. Yeah. Like you go to some and they're not quite as good, but that is a proper, you know, they're proper par 3s, aren't they? Yeah. Really. Tiny greens. Like, we're going to miss some greens this week.
Yeah, they are.
And we might look a bit stupid, but actually they're really small.
They were literally, and because obviously it was a bit bouncy as well. So it was, if you hit a green, you did well, really. But yeah, no, it was, there's a bit of water on the course as well. Yeah.
And nice to see Lee as well.
Lee was there. Lee,
it's just had his birthday.
He has, yeah.
It's just had his birthday. He has missed a year. He forgot that he had actually gone on a year. He was a bit lost. I think maybe it was last year, he thought he'd just turned 39, but he actually just turned 38, so he has actually lost a year, or gained a year. Gained a year.
He's a year younger than he thought.
It's not often you gain a year, but he did. But
although he does look older than us, doesn't he?
He does. He's had a tough day.
Yeah. That's why you should never shave your hair off, because it might grow back grey.
I think he shocked his, didn't he? So anyway, that'll be a fun little adventure, and then I think we've also got a bit of the par 3, the little putt as well.
I mean, I didn't even know that existed.
No,
like that was so on that particular course, it's an 18-hole, like a putting green, etc.
Yeah, crazy golf.
But it's all felt, so there's like little sand, there's like bunkers, there's water hazards, but every hole, as you'll find out, is designed on a hole on the actual resort. So there's 18 holes and you can see the shape of them, but yeah, it was really good. Really good laugh.
A lot of fun.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
And it was proper quick, the green, wasn't it? It was scary.
It was. The first putts out were like twitchy. So anything else that you want to report for this week? Any big announcements that you've got?
I'm back.
That is a big announcement.
No, I don't think there's any real announcements, is there? We've got that coming up. We've still got the French trip, haven't we?
Yeah, I don't know what's happening with that. Obviously, we wanted to get this one done and dusted first, and then we're going to look at travel and things like that, which is difficult, isn't it? Yeah. We were supposed to be going on holiday in France this year, but we've cancelled that, unfortunately. So we're not sure. We're not sure what's going to be happening with that at this moment in time. But and there'll be a ticker bar, because there'll be a ticker bar of some special things that have been announced for this week, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a couple of things
which we missed.
Which you missed.
Unfortunately,
not me.
I like it as the we. We are the we.
When Dan messes up, he uses the term we, but when he does something positive, it's him or I.
Right, we've got to head off to Wales. Thank you.
Got your passport?
Have you got yours?
Yeah, you got my passport.
I've got all the passports. Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching this week. We hope you enjoy our little vlogs at Ashbury, and we hope you obviously enjoyed Moortown. And it's good to have you back.
Thanks, Dan. Appreciate that.
It's been nice. See you all again next week.
See you soon.